NFL insider and draft analyst from ESPN, Mel Kiper, has just released his first mock draft of the 2026 NFL offseason, and we look toward what the Cowboys will do with picks number 12 and 20. Mel Kiper tells us what he thinks right here today on Cowboys Digest. Welcome, everybody. I'm Jace Andrews. I appreciate you tuning in to today's show. Hope you're having a wonderful day, and we're going to get right into it here because it's officially draft season when you start seeing Mel Kiper's face around. If you don't know Mel, he is the draft analyst for ESPN, and whether you think good of him or not, he is the quote-unquote status quo for the NFL in terms of draft analyst, and he is there every single year on draft night analyzing, criticizing, and saying whatever he might think about all these teams. But his mock drafts are always the talk of the town, and we officially have his first mock draft of the 2026 NFL's offseason. Obviously, still games to go, but for this purposes, he did kind of do a little bit of a way to get those final 4 picks in, and we can see here from the quote from the article that Mel put out. The draft order is set for the first 28 picks, and then he used ESPN's football power index, for the Broncos, Patriots, Rams, and Seahawks, who of course still have some football to play before their slots lock in. I didn't project any trades quite yet, but 4 first-round picks have already been dealt to other teams, end quote. The reason I show you that is because in this mock draft, there will be no trades, and I think I like it that way. Now, before we get into the mock draft, this video is brought to you by Kalshi. If you download Kalshi using the link in the description and use code DIGESTNFL, you're going to get $20 when you trade your first 100. Kalshi is the largest prediction market in the United States, and on their platform, you can trade yes or no on real-life events, sports, elections, news, really anything you can find on Kalshi. Now, whether you're in California, Texas, or anywhere across the country, Kalshi is now live in all 50 states. Yes, that means right here in Dallas. For sports fans, we can trade on game outcomes, playoff chances, or player performances, all on a regulated market where you can cash out at any time. Looking at the NFC Championship, you can see that Jackson Smith-Njigba, Puka Nacua, and Kyren Williams are all there to trade for anytime touchdowns. You can also trade on the NFC Championship winner, but also on Kalshi, you can trade on draft odds on who will be the number 1 overall pick. It's genuinely the smarter way to use your sports or news knowledge, and you can close positions whenever you want. Again, download Kalshi using the link in the description, and don't forget to use this code DIGESTNFL to get your $20 bonus. Okay, let's get into it. Mel Kiper's first mock draft. He's got 2 picks to go through for the Dallas Cowboys. Who does he go with? Round 1, pick 12. He picks Sonny Styles, a linebacker out of Ohio State, with the Cowboys' first round pick. And I got to be honest, I think this is one of the picks that I really do enjoy. I think this is the one that I would select, in my opinion. He is a top 10 level talent, where if he drops to 12, you're getting a steal. And for this purpose, I think that the Cowboys need a linebacker. And yes, the secondary is by far and away the bigger thing for a lot of people. But linebacker can help that. And when you have I'm not going to say once in a generation, because Arvell Reese, his linebacker companion at Ohio State, also is very good, but his stats in college were fantastic. 245 total tackles, 132 of those solo, 113 assists, 9 passes defended, 9 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, and 1 interception in his college career. All those stats are fantastic, and I think that he would be a perfect fit for the Dallas Cowboys. Not to mention, college PFF grades are a little bit harder to kind of take a stranglehold of, but you can see here an 88.7 ranked him amongst the top 20 linebackers in all of college football this past season. At 6'5", 243, he's a perfect fit for what the Cowboys want. Pairing him up with DeMarvion Overshown would be a match made in heaven for Jerry Jones and whatever defensive coordinator they end up bringing in. That being said, I think that this is a pick that may not be here. And so we go to Mel Kiper and see what he discusses on this pick for Sonny Styles. Here's his first quote. If you wanted to score points in 2025, all you needed was a matchup with the Cowboys defense. They allowed 30.1 points per game, the most in the league. This is another slot where Jared McCoy could make sense, though DeRon Blandfoot will be back in 2026, and I think Keldric Faulk could fit here if he is still on the board, citing different college players that would be good options for the Dallas Cowboys at that certain slot. But Sonny Styles is, I think, a top guy that everybody really does like, and he finishes off with Sonny Styles saying this: but Dallas could really use an impact player in the middle of the defense. Styles is a former safety and is no surprise once you see his speed. And it's no surprise once you see his speed. He can close on ball carriers and pass catchers in a flash. With 174 tackles over the past 2 seasons, he's a top 10 prospect for me. That's a big thing. Again, people have differentiating opinions on Mel Kiper. I'm not trying to vibe for him or against him, but the fact that Mel, who was, labeled as one of the top draft lists, has this as a top 10 prospect, and you're getting him at pick number 12, is something that you really do have to enjoy. And it's no surprise why. Obviously, the size, the stature of the PFF grader is awesome, but he competed in each of his 4 seasons at the collegiate level. Obviously, 173 tackles over the past 2 years, 245 totaling in his 4 collegiate seasons. He's played a decent amount of football, which I think does matter in nowadays NFL when you look at your draft prospects and the guys you are trying to go out there and go after. So for Sonny Styles to come in here with a lot of football knowledge in what I would consider one of the most NFL-ready defenses of the Ohio State Buckeyes, obviously you have an NFL coach at one point coaching the defense over there in Ohio State, and with Matt Patricia, it just makes a lot of sense. And the linebacker room was such a struggle at some point, not just due to injuries. Obviously, DeMarvion wasn't there, but Kenneth Murray stunk. Shamar James was the 5th-round rookie that you didn't have to put out there in the situation that he had to be put in. I think this is a way where you can easily help yourself out. Now, the Cowboys do have 2 first-round picks in this year's draft. So at pick number 20, Mel Kiper has them going in the way of the defensive edge rusher Akeem Mesidor out of Miami. Now, Mesidor is an interesting prospect for me for a couple of different reasons. I think he is a very good pick, but a lot of ways for me, I like what we can see out of him. I like his abilities to kind of jump into the fray. We saw him in the national championship, and he was an absolute beast. I feel like if you're going to pick a defensive end, it has to be one of the 2 from Miami with Akeem Mesidor or Rueben Bain Jr. And if you're not picking one of those 2, then you should not be picking one of the defensive edge rushers. That's just kind of my take on it. And Mel Kiper seems to have a similar thought. He said that Miami lost in Monday's national championship game, but did you watch Mesidor? He had 2 sacks, bringing his season total to 12.5. He has been around college football for a long time, playing at West Virginia in 2020 and 2021 before transferring to Miami. Mesidor has battled injuries, but his toolbox is full, end quote. Now, what he means by that is that Mesidor can go out here and do a lot of very good things for your defense. And once again, he's played a lot of college football as well. As we can see here, he's been in college football for 6 seasons. Yes, because you can do that now in the CFB. West Virginia in 2020 and 2021, then Miami for the past 4 seasons. He has 34.5 sacks through those total years. One of the years in 2023 was an injury-ridden year, so a little bit different. He did get kind of a pass year for that, a red shirt year, I should say. But 7 tackles in 2022 with Miami, 5.5 in 2024 coming off injury, 12.5 in 2025. He is a very good prospect, and also one thing that I do love about him is in 2025, not only did he have his best year in terms of sack totals, he also forced 4 fumbles, having his most tackles as well, and a lot of those were solo. I mean, he's a fantastic prospect. His size, his stature, it all speaks to why he is a top guy. Mel Kiper kind of finishes off his take on Mesidor by saying this: his bend, burst, and power could help the Cowboys recapture some of the pass rush juice they lost when they traded Micah Parsons in August. Mesidor can get into the backfield quickly and finish, registering 17.5 tackles for loss and 4 forced fumbles this past season, end quote. Now, Talking about Mesidor, talking about Sonny Styles, I do have a couple of questions for you. The first is I want you to grade the pick of Sonny Styles at pick 12. Is that a guy that you would like to see the Cowboys select? Is this a good pick, a bad pick? Grade it on a scale from A, B, C, D, or F. What are you giving the grade of Sonny Styles at pick number 12 in Mel Kiper's mock draft? Let me know yours in the comment section. Also, one question that I have for you is Sonny Styles is a linebacker, obviously. So you're picking a linebacker in round 1, pick 12. And then you're not just picking a linebacker, you're also then going and picking a defensive edge rusher. In that case scenario, you're not helping out the secondary. And Mel Kiper mentioned it on the back end of his draft analysis for the Cowboys, but he said that if this is the way they go, and I think it would be a decent way, you would have to focus on getting a cornerback or safety in round number 2. Given you don't have a round 3 pick, you would obviously then have to worry about it in free agency as well. So that's a key part to take into this decision making is these are both great picks, but if you do this, you will have to kind of figure out why or what you should do in the secondary, because that is obviously a major issue as well. That's all we got for you here today on the show. We really do appreciate you watching. We'll keep you updated with all the Mel Kiper mock drafts from now until, well, the draft is set in April, whenever that is. So we will make sure you are fully informed and updated. But for now, guys, we appreciate you. We'll see you next time. Peace out.